What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate. I see the smirk. Welcome back, Nate Green. Nate, how's it going?
It's all right. What's up, Jared?
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that you were getting "Where is Nate?" comments. Unbelievable.
It is.
All right, YouTube. On the comment section down below, wish Nate a very, happy comebacking. I don't even know if that's what we're working with here, but yeah, Nate's back. He did not get DFA'd. Um, just
We just had a late
he just had
practice.
baseball.
Yeah,
I can't like I don't know. We don't get paid for this. We do this for fun. We do this for you guys. So yeah, I mean he had practice. So he's back. He's more negative than ever, and he's ready to
sure.
talk a little bit of Angels baseball for you guys. So with all that being said, before we get on to we got news, we got rumors. 'Tis the season, it's off season. Before we get on to that, I just want to thank everybody for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. You can follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook, and I think it's called Blue Sky. No, I think that's the new thing. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff, but we did make a Blue Sky account, so go follow us there as well if that's where you choose to social media. I don't care where you choose social media, but if you want some Angels news, you can follow us on all those social medias. Just look up Talking Halos. You can follow myself on all of those as well as Nate Green. Just got to look us up, Jared Timms or Nate Green. Go ahead and give us a follow. Give us a minute to pay the bills. All right. Let's get it rolling here. We got some news, not crazy news. Uh, I'd say maybe a little shocking news. But we do have news. Rule 5, you have to add your Rule 5 eligible players to the 40-man Angels added two players. They DFA'd two players. Those two players were Matthew Lugo, who comes as no surprise. That was the one
Mhm.
guy that we were expecting. A lot of people were expecting Lugo to get added, as well as Jack Dashwood. A lot of people probably won't know the name, don't know who he is. We're here to kind of break it down for you. The Angels also DFA'd Jordan Adams and Eric Wagman. We'll get to that in a second because I know we kind of want to break those two guys down as well. But Matthew Lugo again, not too surprised there. That was a guy that the Angels are expecting to play a role. They acquired him in the Luis Garcia trade. So all four pieces? No. Three of the four
No,
pieces are
yeah,
on the Angels 40 man. Jefferson Garcia, I think is his name. Jefferson Vargas, sorry. Jefferson
yeah,
Vargas
Vargas.
played Inland Empire. Actually, an interesting name to keep an eye on for sure. But three of the four pieces of that trade are on the 40 man now. Nico Cavadas, Matthew Lugo, and Ryan Zefferson. I like Lugo. I think I've always liked him in the come even from the draft. I think he got drafted in what 2018, 2019 now. I think it'd be 2019 it would be the draft that he's eligible from. I
19.
liked him. I liked him there. In Can play the infield, can play the outfield, can swing it a little bit as well. So just a nice piece to have in your back pocket there. I know a lot of people want to talk about Jack Dashwood as well. Lefty saw the velo spike up a little bit from last year. Very interesting, kind of that Jose Quijada type guy where it's a little bit funky. The fastball's going to get on you. He's always been a big strikeout guy. Probably a little bit better off speed than what Quijada has, but an interesting guy nonetheless to add to your 40 man Angels. No stranger to doing so. I remember Colton Ingram a couple years ago
Mhm.
was added to the 40 man. So you just never know with what the Angels doing. But Nate, a little reaction to these two guys here.
Yeah, I mean, Lugo's not a surprise at all. We thought he was going to be up last year until he got hurt in the first action in the minors. Dashwood's a little bit interesting. I mean, the Angels need relief pitching, so I mean, it's not too surprising. But I thought if they were going to go reliever, I thought Hayden Sieg was going to be the guy just because it feels like the org really, really likes him and he's going to be unprotected here. So, um, yeah, I mean, Dashwood's coming off the TJ too, which is also another interesting thing that you mentioned. So we'll see. We'll see if he's going to get a chance just like everyone else on the 40, and we'll see if he can pitch well. I mean, he's got 10 career innings in Double A, I believe. That's the highest he's reached. So we're going to see if he's ready enough. He doesn't have to be 100% ready, but he has to be close enough, I would say.
Yeah, a UCSB guy as well. There's Jack Dashwood, which is kind of cool. So SoCal. So I don't know
Another
if
SoCal
he's not a
kid.
SoCal. I don't think he's a SoCal native, but I think that played college ball there in SoCal, which is cool. Two interesting DFAs here, though. I'll say that. I don't know. I mean, not crazy interesting, but um, Jordan Adams, former first round pick by the Angels, always showed like the crazy athleticism. Just could never, put A and B together to get C, unfortunately. A lot of upside there. I hope the Angels can retain him. If he goes claimed by somebody, it's probably the best thing that can happen for Jordan Adams, because I think that he's somebody that could be that Jared Walsh type guy that has a first half that's really, really good and makes an all-star team, to be honest. Like that's just kind of the type of guy he is. He's shown that he has the power, he has all the tools, he just needs to put it together. And unfortunately, I just don't know if the Angels are that org that can solve that for him. So yeah, and also gotta just throw it out there. Great family as well. Love talking with his mom and dad when I get the chance to. So yeah, if he doesn't come back, I'm gonna be sad. But if he doesn't come back, I'm also happy for him, because I think that a new org will suit Jordan Adams very, very well. And we could be talking about, how upset we are that he is playing well with a different organization. Kind of shocked as well with Eric Wagman, how he played last year too. I thought he made a really good showing in his limited time with the Angels. It's not somebody that you can rely on by any means, but with how good he was, I didn't chalk him as somebody that was going to be one of the first cuts of this offseason. And here we are with two guys that I didn't expect to be those first two cuts. I don't know if you got anything on these two guys or anything.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Adams a lot of upside. Um, Probably another guy that I think there's probably two other outfielders that people probably would have had to go before Jordan Adams just with the elite upside that he's had. But the Angels have struggled to um, really finish development. They've gotten guys to the big leagues and they've struggled in the big leagues, and then they haven't been able to figure out how to get them to that next level of like playing every day and being good. So yes, like you mentioned, he's got a lead upside, but like were the Angels going to be the team to get that out of him? I don't know. Um, Wagaman, like a little bit interesting just because the SoCal story and the OCC and that kind of stuff. The Angels love that, but I think there were probably four other guys that were on the chopping block position player wise, and I'm kind of shocked that Wagman was the guy. But I guess when you really think about it from a skill set, Wagaman and Lugo are pretty close. Like they both can kind of play all over the diamond. Lugo's probably a little bit more upside offensively than Wagaman, probably a little bit more athletic as well. Um, and probably an easy guy to sneak through waivers. Like I don't see Wagman getting claimed. Like I mean, he was minor league free agent with the Angels last year from the Yankees, I believe, or two
Rule five.
years ago.
Rule five.
Minor league Rule 5, but yeah,
Yeah.
from the Yankees. So yeah, I Teodosio Campero would have been two other guys. I think Noda would have been a guy, and I think who's my other guy? The dark sleeper would have been Kyron Parrish, just because of if you're going to get rid of Jordan Adams, Kyron Parrish would have been that other guy offensively. So interesting that these are the two guys to go. A little bit surprising with Adams, not as much with Wagaman, but they they still are not able to go get anyone in the Rule 5 right now because they have exactly 40. So they're still going to have to make a couple more moves to get to where they want to be.
Yeah, we'll see. They didn't take anybody in the major league portion of the Rule 5 last year. They did take quite a few guys in the minor league portion, so we'll see. I'm intrigued in this as to what they do. Rule 5 is always fun. That's going to be a couple weeks from now. We're already late into November here. It's right around the corner. It feels like first week of December, I think, right? I feel like it's like December. I could be wrong. Maybe the second week of December, but
Second, it's
second week of
the
December.
last day. It's the last day of the winter meetings.
Yeah. So I mean, we're right around the corner from the winter meetings at this point. I mean, it's
About two
crazy.
weeks away.
Yeah, we're working to that. That's a lot of fun. So and we'll have the coverage on that and let you know what's going on in the Rule 5 side of stuff. I think last year we recorded every single day of the winter meetings just because there was so
I
much
think
stuff
so.
coming out.
The
So
other big thing for the Angels is the draft choice.
yes, that's going to be a fun one for sure. So yeah, on to, I mean, we're talking about the winter meetings, on to some rumors. The rumor mill here from this week. Actually, both of them kind of coming out today. First one, Royals reaching out about Taylor Ward. This doesn't come as a surprise. It's somebody that you think about trading. I don't know if the Angels do trade, but this came from Annie Rogers of MLB.com, who came out with this. The Royals were talking about a Brady Singer for Jonathan India type trade. So we'll see kind of where this goes, but yeah, Taylor Ward possibly on that trade block for the Angels. Are you surprised?
Not at all. I mean, he's got 2 years left. He's a little bit older of an outfielder. He's a corner outfielder, and I think I've said this multiple times. Like Mike Trout needs to move to a corner. You have Joe Adell, you have Mickey Moniak. You probably need to. You'll probably have to replace him with somebody who can play the corner as well. But like, he's got 2 years left, and might as well trade him at his highest value because his value is only going to get lower as he continues.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a very good suitor there are the Royals. I have to look at their minor league system to see, but I think that you're looking for someone in the back end of top 100 prospect wise, and then maybe some type of hard throwing lower minor leagues prospect that you can work with there. So for Taylor Ward. But yeah, would you be surprised? I think I already asked you that. Would you be surprised if Taylor Ward wasn't an Angel come opening day? I'll ask you that question.
Not at all.
Need that. That's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You got to move Trout. You also need a center fielder, so I don't know where that comes from. Um, but if you do move Ward, it opens the door for a possibility of another move to get an outfielder there. So more rumor mill stuff. The Angels are amongst the teams interested in. I'm gonna butcher the name. Tomo Yuki Sagano. I know that you're not a big fan of him. I went back, I had to go watch some video of him, and it's not horrible. I'd be intrigued in it at the correct amount of money to get somebody like that. I know we've mentioned in the past that Artie probably wants to dip his feet back into the Japanese market, just because, I mean, you're looking at guys like Shohei. I know that, I mean, he was a two-time Cy Young Award winner back in Japan, so he's a well-known name. Um, this makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. To go get somebody like this. I mean, this is your mid tier that we talk about right here. This is that mid tier guy. The report on him, it's going to be a low to mid 90s fastball. I think it's going to be kind of 92 to 94 miles an hour. The command's pretty solid. He's got a cutter type of slider, and he's got kind of that sweeper type of slider as well. I think he mixes in a splitter too. Like I said, he's getting a little bit older though. I think he's 36 years old. He's won a couple Cy Youngs in Japan. Nate, how do you feel about a move like this?
Yeah, the thing you mentioned at the end is the thing that kind of is like, what are we doing? He's 35. He just turned 35. Um, so like how many years are you gonna get out of him? Two, three max? Like,
What if he
um,
takes a 1 year deal though?
then what do we like that doesn't help us, like maybe that helps us for the here and now of like, oh hey, that gives us another starter to get us through this year, but like you're needing to start to build towards 2026 if that's the actual window. Um, you you just want to be competitive in 2025, and I don't know if he's the guy to make you competitive. The other number that's like really scary to me is he threw 156 innings. He has 111 strikeouts. Um, like when you're not the Angels already aren't the best defensive team in Major League Baseball. I mean, we saw Joe Adell get better. Um, and everywhere else it's kind of like average at best. Neto had a rough year defensively, but he has a shot to be a very good defender, so I'm not like too worried about that. They don't really have a true center fielder. They're gonna have to move Trout to a corner. Like there's just a lot of question marks when it comes to defense, and to bring in another guy that asks for a lot of contact, that could be tough for a team like the Angels. So those are the two numbers that scare me: is the strikeout numbers and the age. But, um, again, a 1 year contract. At the deadline, what are you getting for him?
Building blocks.
If you're lucky,
I mean,
that's like if you're really really lucky, that's what
I
you're getting.
I like it on a 1 year deal because you're able to go trade him. Again, I'm not expecting much in 2025, unfortunately. I and we'll talk about this here in a second because we do have the time to do it. I'm intrigued into 1 year deals to because of what the market was last year for pitching. I know the back end of pitching was a lot better than starting pitching, but there is always a market for pitching in July. It might not be a great market. Like, I mean, you're not probably going to get a whole lot for somebody like Tyler Anderson unless he does what he did in the first half last year. Um, but, but there could be a market there for some of these guys, and anything that you can get for the future is okay with me. I know it's not a great way to look at it, but if you're not going to go get a legitimate starter who we'll talk about here in a minute or two, if you're not going to go get a legitimate starter on a multi-year deal that's going to help you past 2026, go get 1 year deals that can help you out. In July with trading pieces. That's kind of where I stand on that side of stuff. So, Nate, you got
The one
anything?
other thing I was going to mention, I was just looking at guys that got traded last year. The guy that would probably be the most similar to what Tyler Anderson or Sugano would be is like a Martin Perez, and they got a 18-year-old that just got back from the Dominican. Like
That's fine.
it's literally a lottery ticket. It's and really, if you're the Angels, do we trust lottery tickets the way that the Angels develop? Probably not. So I'd rather just go get a guy.
I mean, they've done well in with lottery tickets here in the past couple of years, so I'm okay with lottery
But
tickets. That
17
help
year old lottery tickets,
huh,
who's the last like I
Jefferson
mean, yeah,
Jefferson
we
Vargas.
they've been able to trade for guys that have been older and have worked out for them, but like the young guys, it's like we haven't really had a young guy go through the system. Dana's the only one in the last, I don't know. It's been a while since they've had a true guy go through the system.
I'm still fine with lottery tickets. So, all right, let's play a game. Let's play a game here. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead, play along, drop it in the comment sections down below. Was gonna call it "Are they worth a second round pick?" But not all these guys could be second round picks. MLB.com put out compensation picks for guys who received a what's it called? Why am I blanking right now?
Qualifying offer.
Qualifying offer, correct. So are these guys going to be worth a pick? That's what I'm going to ask you, Nate, and we can just kind of say yes or no. I'm going to go through all of them. We can talk about the starting pitching a little bit more because obviously the Angels can be in that starting pitching market, but I want to know if these guys are worth, that pick because some of them may or may not be. The only guy to accept qualifying offer was Nick Martinez. I think it was Nick Martinez, right? And that's
Yep. Genius.
yeah, I mean smart move by him for sure. So let's go ahead and start this. These guys are, if they get paid over $50 million, they will be worth a first round comp pick. So is Christian Walker worth a first round pick?
To the Angels or to another team?
Just in general. Let's say in general, is he worth a first rounder?
I think there's a team out there that it would make sense for.
Underrated. I think underrated,
Yeah.
underappreciated. I don't think a lot of people talk about Christian Walker. So yeah, I'm going to say no, it's not worth it. But that's just me thinking about the Angels. I think
Yeah,
someone
like
will do it.
it's a different answer if it's
Yeah.
the Angels.
Yeah.
The answer's no if it's the Angels.
Willie Adames.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would do it if I was the Angels too, by the way. And think about maybe moving Neto to second base or something like that. That'd be kind of fun. And then venturing out on the Christian Moore to third base train would be kind of fun and interesting there, or a corner outfield spot for him. So I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I don't think that the Angels do it, but I think that he's worth it. Corbin Burns, that's an easy one, right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely worth
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And yes, for the Angels as well. I don't think he's going to be an Angel, but yes, I would agree with that. Anthony Santander is a tough one, I think.
Sneaky, sneaky. I think he gets paid this much, so I'm gonna say yes because for the Angels,
How old is he?
no,
29?
he's 29, turning 30.
I think he gets above
I
I think he gets above that too, yeah.
Yeah, I think he gets like a 4 for 20 a year. Yeah, four
64.
for 80,
Yeah.
maybe he gets to 100. somewhere in there. He's a very valuable switch hitting power hitter. Probably not a good enough outfielder, but he's played some first base in the past. He could play a corner outfield. He could DH for you. I think for sure he's worth it.
I'd say he's not worth it. I think there's too
Not
much.
for the Angels.
I think in general he's not worth it. I think there's too much swing and miss in it. I don't think the bat's good enough. I think that bat as in like pure hit to bat to ball skill. I don't think it's quite good enough. I think that the power's there, but you're also relying a lot on that power for a guy who I think hit 240 this year. So I'm gonna say no, he's not worth a first round pick. Um, Now comp B picks. There's only one guy here. This one's gonna definitely pertain to the Angels. Nick Pivetta.
No.
I I agree with that. I'm not in on Nick Pivetta. I please no. I'm not there. He's not worth. He's How about this? Is Nick Pivetta worth a fourth rounder? He's not. He's worth around. He's worth the round B, so just after the second round. But oh no, comp
For
B.
the Angels, like I'm still like the thing for me with the Angels, they need to go get a guy who can be at the top of the rotation. Nick Pavetta to me is a middle of the rotation guy. Like he's a bad two, good
I-
three type of guy. The Angels need to go get a okay to good enough one to a really good two type of guy. Like I know we've mentioned Jack Flaherty. I know I've mentioned Shane Bieber. Like that's the kind of guys they need to go look at. And Pavetta is in the bottom tier of that for me.
Yeah, I'm not in on Nick Pivetta anyways. No matter he's worth a fourth rounder for me, but I don't. I would prefer the Angels not go and sign him. Just because it's very much so a Tyler Anderson type of thing. It's very like I'm just not in on Nick Pivetta. I really am not. So
And he is older too.
I'm just gonna say no. Though he does have the SoCal connection. I believe he is a SoCal guy. So there is that to think about. Okay, on to the fourth rounders here, which I think all these guys are kind of worth it in my opinion. Alex Bregman,
Yes.
worth it. I would say. Pete Alonso, yes,
Yes.
absolutely worth it. Sean Manaea, is he worth fourth rounder?
Fourth rounder. Yes. The problem is it's still a second rounder for the Angels, if I
That's
remember
true.
correctly. So that's like the Mets are getting a fourth rounder because they have spent so much money,
The
but
Angels
I
give up the
think
second.
the Angels would still have to give up the second. That's where the question mark comes because he's been so up and down in his career that it's like is he going to be consistent enough to be worth the second rounder in the Angels' mind? He's already worth a fourth rounder to the Mets because they offered it to him, and he declined. So I'm out on him just because it's so up and down with his career. I know you're a big Mania fan though.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I've been saying this wrong, by the way. That it says he's a fourth rounder. He is a second rounder. Worth. That's what the Angels would give up, a second rounder.
The Angels would give
Um,
up a second rounder. The Mets
yeah,
would get a fourth
get it, fourth
rounder.
rounder.
That's what it is.
I've been saying it wrong. Yes, I like Manaea. I like the arm slot change. I don't think he's worth. I don't think he's worth a pick. I don't think. I just don't see it. I really don't. Unfortunately. Luis Severino, very similar to Manaea.
Yeah,
Worth it?
it's a little up and down for me. I'm kind of a younger Nick Pavetta for me. Like he could have some big strikeout numbers, but like a lot of arm injury history, a lot of up and down years.
Big
I
for me.
would I would say no.
For me, it's a big fastball. He reminds me a lot of Michael Lorenzen a little bit. Not a little bit. He reminds me a lot of Michael Lorenzen. Big fastball. He moves it horizontally well, moves the slider well. I don't think he's worth it in my opinion. Not that second round pick. So I'm gonna skip Freed because I want to talk about him last. Juan
Uh,
Soto. Yes.
uh,
Yeah, I think so. This one might be a little interesting. Teoscar Hernandez. He worth it? Worth
for
it?
the Angels,
No?
no. For another team, yes. I think
He's
he
in
could be
that
a
Christian Walker territory.
yeah. Where like the Washington Nationals are looking for a middle of the order bat, like yeah, that'd be fine to take a chance on this guy. Um, the the Angels, we already have Jorge Soler. He's basically a better version of Jorge Soler, I would say. So for the Angels, no. For depending on the team, yes.
That's fair. That's fair. Last but not least, Max Fried. A lot of speculation made with Travis d'Arnaud coming over that, hey, SoCal kid again might follow his friend over to Anaheim. So Max Fried, is he worth the pick?
That would that would be that like borderline 1-2 for me, where like Fried is probably not like one of the best 15 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, but he's in that 16 to 30. So like I would like a guy like that. He would fit into the Shane Bieber and things like that. The only thing that sucks is the Angels have probably a top 5 pick, probably a top 6 pick. And you're going to have so much money available in this draft. And if you are drafting 2 or 3, giving up that second round pick is going to be so valuable from a money standpoint, from a player standpoint. Like there's so many different things you can do with that pick that it's like really hard to want to give up a pick for Max Fried when you probably could pay Jack Flaherty or Shane Bieber similar numbers and get just as pretty much similar pitchers, similar stats, all those things. So for me, I would rather go sign Flaherty or Bieber, those type of guys. But like, yes, if you are willing, I would be willing to give up a second rounder for Max Fried. I would not be upset if the Angels did. Like I said, it's just tough with the money and potentially getting 2 first rounders in the draft. Like there are just a lot of good things to help with this draft.
Yeah, I agree. Scotty Brewer, who commented on here, learned he lived in Idaho. He did not like the take of, not giving up a second rounder. I agree. Freed Freed may be the only guy that I would give up that second round pick for. I don't know.
Besides Juan Soto,
Besides Juan Soto, yeah.
which you wouldn't be. We aren't getting him anyway, so it's not really.
I mean, you look at Freed, like you're gonna get him for 5, 6 years. He fits your window. He's could be the best free agent on the pitcher on the market this offseason. So I'm I'm not I wouldn't be upset about it. Let's just say that. I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd say yes. I'll say yes, he's worth that second round pick. I just don't know. It's tough. It's very, very tough for me there. So one last
I
thing
I agree. You can't get rid. Like you wouldn't be upset about it, but you're not like that's not number one. He's probably option
he's
3.
he's the only him and Soto are the only ones that I'm like, okay, like I'm fine with giving that second round pick for.
Yes,
Like
yes,
anybody
of
else that we
course.
just mentioned, like I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I would have given that second round pick up for him. I really
Maybe
don't.
Burns. Corbin Burns would be
Kurt
the other
Burns,
guy.
yes, I'll give you Burns. Burns is the only other guy, but I mean, again, slips my mind because I don't think that he's going to be an Angel. I don't think he
There's
won't.
no chance that he signs with the Angels, so it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but weird things have happened. I got one more thing here. Some Timothy Affleck asked this question about the Premier 12, which is going on over in Japan, China, Taipei. It's happening back in Asia somewhere. Want to know, if the Angels are over there doing things. I also had to ask to figure some stuff out. I believe they do have some scouts. They got some guys over looking at some of these players. I don't think that it's a huge market. I mean, a guy like Yoel Moncada was playing over there. Rich
Mhm.
Hill was
He
playing
was
over there. I mean,
hurt.
yeah, I don't think there's a huge market over there. I mean, maybe for some of the younger guys that are playing for Taipei, Chinese Taipei, or maybe Australia, or maybe Japan. Maybe they're getting. I don't even know. Suguno is playing in this Premier 12 or anything like that. But yeah, I know that they I believe they have some scouts over there watching it. I could totally be wrong, so don't quote me on it. But I had to ask and got a interesting answer from it. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. Again, you can follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Just look us up there. You'll follow myself on all those social medias as well. Just look up Jared Timms. Follow Nate on all social medias as well at Nate Green. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great rest of your day.